Hello and welcome to the 21st Century Knowledge Community. Today we are going to be working on Unit 1, Lesson 2 of the We Can Students Book 1. To check out what the first lesson is like and how you can use it, go to the YouTube channel. I'll put that on the last slide and subscribe so that you can continue to see all the lessons I'm going to put up for all the series from We Can to Super Goal and to Mega Goal. So let's start. What we have here is the first 2 pages, and honestly, what is always required is, do we want to finish pages or do we want the students to learn? So we need to make a decision there, because we can finish as many pages as we can, but that doesn't mean that the students have learned. So this is a design that focuses on what the student will learn and whether they will learn it. So let's look at what we want the student to be able to do. In this lesson, the student will be able to see a written word and know which picture it is. And in this lesson, we will be able to see a picture and make a word for it. Now, obviously, this is going to take too long, so we're going to focus today on the first part in this lesson. So what are we going to be able to learn? What are we going to learn and be able to do in this lesson? We'll be able to see a word and know which picture it is. Now, this is going to be sight learning rather than alphabet and phonic decoding. So let's have a look. These are the words that we learned in language in the previous lesson. So we learned bag, pencil, book, window, and seat through hearing and speaking. In this lesson, we will focus on the way they are written. Now, the most important thing in any lesson is to be able to learn a tool and use that tool in order to learn some more. Now, we're going to use the same yes-no tool that we used previously in the previous lesson, but with a different result. So for example, here, the teacher will put the word on the screen first, bag. Then the teacher will put a picture on the screen, and the students will say yes or no in a low voice. Again, do not accept shouting and do not accept repeating after the teacher. So is this word and the picture the same? Then the students are going to say yes. Let's try this again with a different content. The teacher puts the word on the screen first, still bag. So notice, because we're focusing on learning the word itself, we will keep using it. But then we will put a picture that's not a bag. And the students will look at these two words, this word and this picture. If they are not the same, they will say no. Again, no shouting. Now, the next thing to do with the students is always to demonstrate how to use the tool. So let's do a little demonstration. Remember, we can see a written word and know which picture it is for. Here are your instructions. Look at the word, and you put the word. Don't put both of them at the same time. Then you say, then look at the picture. Say yes if the word is for the picture. Say no if the word is not for the picture. Now let's apply it. Again, we will make a different set of PowerPoint for the students. This is for you, the teacher. You may use it as a PowerPoint and remove the parts that are for the teacher and go straight to the parts that are for the student, but we'll also help you by providing the PowerPoint without all of these. So let's apply. The word to learn now is bag. Remember, It's not important to say B or A or G or anything right now. I know it's going to be difficult for teachers to, 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 to prevent themselves from writing the word bag and saying that this is a B and a don't. We're going to treat the word as an image. And then later lessons, we're going to learn the letters and the sounds for those words. So yeah, we're going to learn the letters and the sounds, but for this one, do it as is. And remember, this is only the second period. So we've got, you tell them bag, and this is the way you see it, bag. Now notice I used a reverse image for the word bag to outline it correctly. Now we have another picture of a bag, and it's a bag. So you can put your finger and show the tracing, etc. And then why do we have 3 different pictures of bags? So that the student will not be conditioned to say bag for only one image. Now you might take a few minutes here and just show them. Remember, this is going to be a learning system where the images of these letters, remember, these are foreign letters for the kids. They might not be exposed to any of the Latin characters. So we want them to learn that when they see this, this is what it is. Now, after you spend a few minutes on this, let's go to the yes, no. You say, look at the word, then look at the picture, say yes if the word is for the picture. Say no if the word is not for the picture. Remember, the students need to learn the tool first. So you put a word. I will not say anything anymore. Just look and say. So don't keep talking every time you put it up. That's distracting. This is the last time you will speak. And what will the student say? Yes. So please notice the time delay. Let's do it again. I'll just comment on this one. You put up a word. Now the students don't know what picture is going to come. You put a picture, you signal, they'll say yes. Let's do it again. You put up the word, you put up the picture, you signal to the students, and they will say yes. Remember, no shouting. You put the word, you put a picture, you signal, and they will say no. Then you put up the word, you put up the picture, you give a signal, they will say yes. You put up a word, you put up a picture, you give a signal, and they will say no. You put up the word, you put up the picture, you give a signal, and they will say yes. You put up the word, you put up a picture, you give a signal, and they will say yes. So if the students are taking time, they're not getting it right, but they will definitely, you can repeat that sequence you just saw 2 more times, 3 more times, or just 1 more time if necessary. This is where the teacher is the evaluator, whether this needs to be done again. Remember, it's only 1 word, bag. Okay. Now we move to the second word. We're going to learn the word book. Okay. Now remember, they learn to hear and say the word book for an image in the previous lesson. So the word book is not new, but the letters or the writing code for that is new. So in the previous lesson, we call it language. In this lesson, we're going to call it literacy. So now they know that this is a book. They can say that from the previous lesson. We show it to them. Notice I chose the 2 words that start with the B, okay? And you might want to trace it to show them, you know, how we got it. And then you show a different book. And again, it's the same writing. You show a third book, and again, it's the same writing. So that should take a minute, not more than a minute, because what we want to do is we want more active participation. Here, the students are not active. It's just a demonstration that this code or these shapes of letters in English are representative of book. Again, we do the same thing. We say, look at the word, then look at the picture. Say yes if the word is for the picture. Say no if the word is not for the picture. This is just a reminder. And again, you say from now on, I will not say anything. Just look and say yes or no. So what's the first thing you put? You always put up the word first. Then you put up the picture. Then you signal the students and they will say yes. Remember, yes, not shouting. Then you put up the word, you put up the picture, and you give a signal. A signal can be with your thumb, with your fingers, or a slight tap with the pencil on the desk, and the students will say yes. Again, the students do not know what the next picture is going to be. So you put up the word, and this is the anticipation. If we put the picture first, they will say book, and the focus will not be on the letter. We want the focus to be on the writing. That's why we put it up first, and then we put an image. And then you give a signal, and the students will say yes. Then you put up the word, you put up the picture, you give a signal, and the students will say no. So I'll just hurry that a little bit. You put up the word, you put up the picture, you give a signal, the students say no. Because you don't want them to be able to say, oh, in the previous one, it was 3 yes, 1 no, 2 yes. Kids are smart. What you want to do is to keep them on their toes to anticipate, not being able to anticipate what the picture is going to be like. So you put the word, you put a picture, they will say yes. You put the word, you put a picture, they will say yes. And you put a word, you put a picture, they will say yes. Now, again, if they're not very good at it, you can repeat that same book sequence one more time. Now we're going to learn the word pencil. I think I can move a little bit faster right now so I don't bore you with all these slowness. But what you want to do is you want to be able to do this automatically. You want to try it. Don't wait until you go into the classroom to try this because it doesn't work. It needs to become part of you. So we're going to put the words pencil, and you know what to do now. You focus. So notice now we went from 2 B's to a P. And the pronunciation of pencil was worked on in the previous, the first lesson, the P. So here it's just the code for writing or for representing a pencil using letters, okay? So again, take your time, like a minute and a half, so that you can put them one up at a time, you know, like this one. And then you go, all right, here's another one, and here's another one. All right, now let's go to the learning part. It's the same thing. You say these 3 things, and then you tell them, I will not say anything. Just look. Now, don't worry if they don't understand. What you're doing is, this is a kind of the beginning of immersion, where you don't have to explain anything in Arabic. They know what to do, which lessens the interaction in Arabic in the classroom. So you put the picture of a pencil and you put the pencil, you give a signal, and they will say yes. Remember, it has to follow these steps. You put the word, and you don't ask, you say, if they're trying to repeat or say the word, you go, don't, okay? It has to be silent here because reading is silent, okay? Then you put the picture after a couple of seconds, and then you give them a signal, and they will say yes. So you keep doing this, and oh, it's not a pencil, right? So they got to say no. Now, what do you think? If I put pencil, are we going to show an image of a pencil, or are we going to show an image of something else? The kids don't know. So you put the picture, then you give a signal, and they will say no. Again, you put the word, you put the picture, you give a signal, they say yes. So you keep doing that until you get to the end. And remember, you can repeat the sequence another time, 2, 3, 4 times. It depends on the student's ability, okay? Now, don't worry about the tool being yes and no, like in the first lesson, the second lesson, and the third lesson. We are going to use other tools, but we master a tool, we make it easy, and then what happens is that we introduce a different tool after a few more sessions. All right, so now the word is window. Again, remember, they learned window to hear it and say it in the previous lesson. So today we're focusing on the writing for window. And again, you do the same thing. You take a minute and a half so that they can see now. So what they are doing is they are remembering the shape of the word rather than the ability to identify the letters and the phonics. Don't worry, we're going to go to the letters, we're going to go to the phonics later on, but today we're focusing on sight for the word. And that's how you read. You don't decode every word you read or your brain will fry. So you need to learn how to, see the word as a sight. You start to decode when the word is unfamiliar. Okay. Again, you say the same three things, and then you tell them that you're not going to say anything anymore, and you start. All right, I think we made a mistake here. We should have put the window first and the word window and then the picture. We will fix that in the presentation for the kids, and the kids are going to say yes. This is going to be the right one. You put window, you put a picture, they say yes. You put the word, you put a picture, you give a signal, they say yes. You put the word, you put the picture, it's not a window, you signal, and they will say no. So you keep doing this. You put the word, you put the picture, they say no. Remember, every time they see the word, they don't know if it's going to be the shape or the image of a window or something else. So they don't know if they're going to say yes or no. This is what we call heightened attention. The attention of the learner is heightened in anticipation because they don't know what's going to come next. So you put the image, you signal, they will say yes, same thing, again, and again. And remember, you can do the sequence again if necessary. Now, we need to, again, here's a little mistake that we need to fix. This is the one of the dangers of copy paste. So this one should be seat, and we will fix that in the PowerPoint presentation that we'll give you for the kids, okay? So again, the same thing, you put the pictures. Notice this is an airplane seat. Now, we're not naming chair or armchair or sofa or couch. We're just saying that where you sit down is called a seat, which is something that we're going to learn later in lesson 3. After you help them see the shape of the word, all right, again, you do the same thing, and you put the word, the picture, signal, and they say yes. You put the word, the picture, signal, they say yes. You put the word, you signal, you put the picture, you signal, they say yes. Now, they might think the next one is going to be no, but they cannot be sure. So you put the word, it's still yes, because this is your seat in the classroom. So notice this time we went for yes before we changed. Again, not to get the students the ability to predict what is a yes, no, but rather they have to see the word and the image. So what is happening in the student's brain? This is being engraved as an image with this, but it keeps changing. So you give a signal, they say yes, you put the word, you put a picture. Remember, notice we're always putting a picture from before, because now the brain is going to say window, and what we're reading is seat doesn't work. So they're going to say no. What do you think? Yes or no? We can't predict. All right. So we put a picture. Oh, it's a no. All right. We put the word, we put the picture, we signal, and they say yes. We put the word, we put the picture, we signal, and they say yes. We put the word, we put the picture, we signal, and they say yes. Again, you can do the sequence another time, 2, 3 times. You are the judge, and you are able to evaluate whether you need to do the sequence again. So this is the first part. Now, oh, look, we're going to learn a new tool, okay? So how does this new tool work? You prepare 4 word cards for each student. You can put that on an A4 and put like 3, 4, or 5 sets, so you don't need to use a lot of paper. And then you give each student a set. Maybe they can cut them out. So every student has these 4 words. And I think we missed one. We need to add the word window. So we do have window, bag, seat, pencil. Okay. So we got that. And we show them how to use the tool. So how do we use the tool? Well, the teacher puts the picture on the screen like this. Then the teacher gives a signal after 2 to 4 seconds, and the kids have to hold up the word card for that picture. So remember, they're looking at the words and they need to hold up the correct card. This is how it works. So let's try this again. All right. So let's see what we've got. We've got the instructions. Look at the picture, wait for my signal. Don't hold up the card before I signal. Then hold up the correct word card for the picture. So you put a picture and the kids have to hold up the correct word card. You put up a picture. Remember, this is going to be silent now. They hold up the correct card. You put up a picture, they hold up the card. So this is pure reading, right? You are scanning the word cards in front of you every time you want to pick up the right one and hold it up. Let's try this again. You put a window and they hold up the picture of the window. You put a seat, they hold up the picture of the seat. So again, you can repeat this several times. Like here, I repeated it several times so that you don't have to go back and start from the beginning. But this is, and if you feel that you still need more time, this is the best way to do it. Now, the same tool, we can raise the level of the tool, the challenge of the tool. And once they learn, they master one tool, we can change that tool's the way it's done to raise the level. So for example, look at this one. Look at the pictures. Wait for my signal. Hold up the word cards for the pictures in the direction of the arrow. So they have to pick up the word for the picture you put here first, and then the picture for the word that you put here second, like this. So you put the picture of the bag. No, they cannot hold up a card yet. You need to signal with your hand, no, don't. That's part of the learning the tool. Then you put up the second picture, and now you give a signal that they have to hold up the cards, and the kids will hold up 2 cards. All right? Now, so notice they hold up the bag first, then the pencil, the bag first, then the pencil. Let's try it again quietly. You put the first picture. Remember to look at everybody so that nobody is holding up the card for the book, and then the second picture, and then they have to hold up the 2 word cards. It's the same thing again. They hold up 2 word cards. The same thing again. Remember, when you put, you can do this. You know, you might put the picture of the pencil and wait a couple of seconds. Goes, no. You can't hold up a card yet. And I will show you the second picture. You can't hold up the card yet. Now, when you give the signal, they hold up the 2 cards, okay? So you can repeat the sequence again, and if you think it's necessary. Now, to end the session, this is the advantage of being in the classroom. One of the most important things in learning anything, and especially language, is interaction. Now, interaction cannot be and mustn't be memorized dialogue. That's not interaction. Interaction is when what one student does causes the student to create a response to it. But if they read off the pages of a book, the dialogue, that is not going to be learning. We will explain that more pedagogically in some other sessions. So let's look at this tool. We got to learn it first. So you might need a whole 15 minutes to learn it, but once learned, we can use it again later. Saves time. All right. So what you do is all the students sit in pairs back to back like this. So some of the students, one of them is facing the back wall and the other is facing the screen. This is the seating arrangement. So this person can only see the back wall and this person can only see the screen, and all of them. Now you might start with 2 to give as a demonstration, but everybody must be working at the same time. Then you give the word cards to the students who are facing the back wall. All of them, but I didn't want to clutter the screen. So the students who are facing the back wall, not the screen, have the word cards. The student who is facing the screen is going to do something else. Can you guess? All right, so I just put a few of the pictures for a demo, but it's the whole classroom. A picture will appear on the screen. You, the teacher, will click and a picture will appear. The student facing the screen will say the word to the student behind in a low voice, almost a whisper, okay? So the student facing the screen says the word to the student facing the wall in a whisper like this: pencil. What do you think the student facing the wall is going to do? Well, they're going to search in their cards for the word pencil and hold it up. So they don't speak. Remember, the student facing the wall gives the student facing the screen the word card so they can pass it behind them. But he should not be speaking, she should not be speaking, like this. So this is what we call an interaction tool. Whatever the student facing the screen says will cause a reaction in the student who is facing away from the screen. I would like to thank you for watching. And if you subscribe to the 21st Century Education community, you will be notified whenever I upload a new lesson. And I am going to be uploading lessons for 1, 2, 3 for the elementary, 1, 2, 3 for the intermediate, and 1, 2, 3 for the secondary. This will help you and other teachers to know how to start the school year. And notice that these can be done remotely except for the interaction part. So this is the YouTube channel, and thank you very much for watching. These are my contact details. If you'd like to talk about anything, if you would like to drop me an email, you're most welcome to do so. Thank you very much. Until I upload the next lesson.